What is grief if not love persevering? That's a WandaVision quote for anyone wondering. Letting go is a common notion people think all grieving individuals go through. But the truth is, I never have, and I don't think I ever will. My father passed away at 8 PM precisely 5 days before his 60th birthday. His heart just gave out, they said, too exhausted to continue. It has been almost 5 years, but I remember it like it happened yesterday. Grief is a funny thing. They say it's the price we pay for love. They say it's the final act of love. So, at its core, grief is love. Or at least, that's how I think of it. I mean, if not grief, how else were you going to prove, to express, to show that someone was loved and had an impact on those they left behind?
And so, because I love my dad very dearly, I held on to the grief.
Through the memories of him, even though they never stopped hurting, I feel. And somewhere, somehow, along the way, grief became synonymous with my father's memory. It became tainted, but still, it was him. So, I held on. It's conflicting, truth be told. On the one hand, I want to heal. I want to grow. But if I don't grieve, then who's going to remember him? Who is he going to be? Concerning someone that was so fundamental to the person that I am now, to the maker of so many core memories, that question feels devastating. In less than half a decade, all 50-something years of him, without me grieving, remembering, felt like it would be gone, just like that. So, allowing the grief that has come to feel so foundational to his current presence linger was, in my own little way, how I remembered a life that was his own.
They say grief is just love with nowhere else to go.
And with me not wanting to let it go anyway, as nonchalant as I seemed on the outside, a part of me always drowned in grief. Grief to the extent that I was constantly in, though, was never going to be healthy or good for me in the long run. It hurt, even when it's something so mundane. And that was one thing I was certain my dad wouldn't want. He did love me, after all, and you never want your loved ones to suffer. But how can I let grief go when it's all that seems to be left of him? Well, the thing is, I've come to realize you don't. You don't really have to let go of grief. Like I said, at its core, it's still love. Lost and displaced, but, you know, still. It's proof that you love that person, and that love should never be something you have to let go of or to forget. You just have to learn to live with it, to manage it, to not let it consume you so much mere breathing becomes difficult. So maybe put it in a room, a box, an album, grief. Designate the displaced love a place where you can go back and look whenever you want to feel. Don't let it linger around like a thick, suffocating cloud, preventing you from living. And remember, your loved ones' memories don't just live on purely in grief. They exist in the quirks you shared, the jokes you had, the lessons they taught, their favorite songs. While it will hurt, with time, it'll become more manageable, bearable. And one day, the happiness and love that you once felt for each and every one of them would be able to overtake the hurt and the sadness. And your loved ones' memories, life, and legacy, just like my father's, could be, in that way, cherished, honored, loved.